Happy Sunday morning, everybody. Today we're going to be doing an oil change in my 2001 Toyota Corolla. And today I am going to give you 5 tips for doing an oil change on your car. So the first thing you'll of course need are your tools and your supplies. You'll of course need some new motor oil. You'll want to get yourself a drip pan for when you drain the old oil out of the car. You'll also want to get yourself a new oil filter. And then for this particular car, you'll need to get a 14mm socket. And then of course, something to put the old oil in when you're done. So let's go ahead and get this done. So the first tip, when you go to change your oil, you want to do it when your engine is warm. Reason being, you don't want your engine to be so hot that when you go to do an oil change you burn your hand, but at the same time you also want it warm enough to where your oil just freely flows out like that. You don't want to do it first thing in the morning when the oil is cold and then it has a harder time coming out of the oil pan. So we'll just go ahead and let that drain. The second step, while your oil is draining, is to get your new oil filter ready. So we'll just go ahead and open this up. We'll go ahead and remove this plastic cover that's on it. If you can, after you have a little bit of oil on your fingers already. There we go. Then you'll go ahead and take some oil. Pour a little bit in. This way you don't have a dry startup when you go to start the car. And then also, you want to take some of this oil and rub it around this gasket. This way, next time you go to do an oil change, it comes off easier. Trust me, dealing with stuck-on oil filters is not fun. Ask me how I know. Tip number 3. If you have any pets, run your oil by them. Make sure they approve. What do you think, little guy? Should we use that brand of oil for the car? What do you think? Yay or nay on that oil? Oh, okay. I don't think he cares. I think he just wants attention. Oh well, I tried. Alright, tip 3. Make sure you use the right viscosity. In this case, it's 530. And it'll even say on the oil cap, 530. You always want to make sure you use 530 for this particular motor. You never want to go too thick or too thin with your motor oil. You go too thin, then your engine's just not getting properly lubricated. If you go too thick, then the thickness of your oil could be too much for the engine. Now I know there are guys that'll say, oh, if you have a small oil leak, you can go with the next thicker grade of oil. But I mean, to be honest with you guys, if your car has an oil leak, the only way to really fix that is to fix the oil leak. Always go with the right viscosity of oil for your particular engine. Tip 4, when you go to add your oil, always keep an eye on your dipstick. Reason being, having too much oil can be just as bad as not having enough. So this bottle is actually almost empty, so I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of it in. Then, just check your fluid level. And in this case, still dry as a bone, so we got a little ways to go. And then Right there is where you want it. Full, but not overly full. And tip number 5, do the right thing for Mother Earth and recycle your old motor oil. Take it to an auto parts store. Oftentimes they will take the old oil off your hands for free. And that is my 5 tips for doing an oil change on your car. I didn't go too in depth on how to do an oil change because I already have a couple videos on doing an oil change. Feel free to check them out if you want more information. But one car down, now the Highlander needs an oil change. And don't forget, new videos every Sunday. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, make sure you hit that bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys next week.